Welcome! In this video I'm going to cover installing a new virtual machine using Virt Manager. If you have not yet watched the video on managing local virtualization hosts, then I recommend you do that before watching this video. When building a new virtual machine, you will need to consider the same resource requirements that you would for a physical machine. For example, memory, number of concurrent clients, CPU, etc. To launch Virt Manager, select the Applications menu, System Tools, then Virtual Machine Manager. Authenticate and you are connected. You can also launch Virt Manager from the command line, virt-manager. Alternatively, use the super key, or Windows key on most keyboards, and type virt to see applications that relate to virtualization. Choose the Virtual Machine Manager icon. Once it is started, click the New icon. Give your new virtual machine a name, for example Demo. This is also the domain name when using the virsh command line tool. You can then choose where to source the installation media. The first three options, local install, network install, or network boot, will require the operating system to be installed fresh from the chosen source, while the last option would normally have the operating system already installed in a disk image. So all you are doing is defining the virtual machine architecture to run the operating system on. I am going to use the HTTP method. Enter the URL and press the Enter key to have the operating system automatically detected. If desired, include any additional options you might need, for example, kernel parameters. Quick tip: if you need Anaconda to use a different installation resolution, try adding inst.resolution equals some resolution value to the kernel parameters. Pick a smaller resolution than your display, but a common display resolution all the same. Anaconda will fall back to a default resolution if the resolution you specify is not supported. After you click Forward, you may see a message about the emulator not having search permissions for the path. Select Yes if this occurs. This is a one-time event. Choose an appropriate amount of RAM for your virtual machine and an appropriate number of CPUs for your virtual machine. When enabling storage, you can have Virt Manager created or use a pre-configured storage source. If you choose to have Virt Manager created, then it can be fully allocated immediately, or it will grow dynamically at runtime. On the last step, you can often just select Finish and the virtual machine will be created and the install will begin. However, if you want a chance to further refine the virtual machine configuration, then select the Customize checkbox. You can also tune some advanced options before continuing. In our case, we need to update the MAC address to one that our DHCP and DNS servers will recognize. If you select the Customize checkbox, then you will see this window, allowing you to add new hardware or tune the existing virtual machine hardware. One useful option in the boot options is the Start Virtual Machine on Host Boot Up. This starts the virtual machine when the host machine boots. When you are ready, click the Begin Installation button to start the installation process. After a short period of scrolling console text, the Anaconda graphical installer will start. Here you need to choose the language to use during installation. The installation summary page shows you the various settings you can adjust. Almost all of them will have default values set. Adjust any that are not set correctly. This is a hub and spoke interface, so after changing a setting, you will return to this summary page. Settings that have the orange warning icon are not yet set and must be completed before you can proceed. For example, installation destination is not yet set. I live in Melbourne, Australia, so I will update the date and time. The easiest way is to select your location on the map. Alternatively, use the drop boxes to select your region and city. Click Done in the upper left corner to return back to the summary page. I will also update the language to include English, Australia. Again, Done to return to the summary page. Keyboard allows you to add multiple keyboard layouts. Installation source was specified during the new VM wizard and should not need to be changed. Next, I will change the software selection. Here I can choose a base environment plus any additional package groups if I want them. I can always install other packages later using yum. The network was also set during the new VM wizard. Update these settings if you need to. Finally, I will fix the installation destination. Here I can see the destination disk or disks and the selected partitioning scheme, automatic in this example. But I could choose to manually lay out the partitions and choose the file systems, which is all beyond the scope of this video. I am now ready to begin installation. Anaconda begins by creating the partitions and file systems and then starts installing Red Hat Enterprise Linux, based on your software selections. Depending on what you selected to install, will determine how long the installer runs. Expect about 15 to 20 minutes. While the installer is running, you can set the root password and optionally create a primary user account. I am using Red Hat as the password, which is weak and not recommended, so I must select Done twice to accept the weak password. When setting up the primary user, if it's appropriate, I can add them to the administrators group, Wheel. Again, I am using a weak password, so I must select Done twice. Once Anaconda is finished, select Reboot. Review and accept the license agreement. Choose to enable or disable KDump. For this demo, I will keep the default. You would normally want to register at this time, but for this demo I will skip it. I will log in as the user account I created during the install. This launches the first run wizard. Select your language for the desktop and input source. Optionally, set up cloud accounts. I'll skip this. We are finished. The last item to appear will be the GNOME help, which may be useful to review if you're not familiar with GNOME 3. To recap, launch Virt Manager from the command line, Applications menu, or Activities overview. Step through the new wizard defining your basic virtual machine hardware requirements, and then tweak any of the advanced options that you need. Using Anaconda's hub and spoke interface, change your installation options and update the user accounts while the installer runs. Approximately 20 minutes later, reboot and step through the license agreement and first run options. That concludes this video. Thanks for watching.